Hi everyone, welcome back to Bethany's Vintage Fairy Tale. I'm so excited to share with you guys today's video. We're going to be decorating this beautiful tree in our dining room in a traditional, very elegant theme. I'm so excited to share with you guys another tree decorating idea with a totally different color scheme. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you stay tuned. So for this tree, I wanted to totally take a 180 from all of the trees that I've already shared with you and go really full on traditional with very elegant colors and very rich textures. So what I'm going to be doing is using a grapevine wreath and kind of taking that apart, just using my scissors and then breaking apart the branches to add this into the tree. And the best part about these grapevine wreaths is they're not expensive. I picked mine up at Walmart. And once you take them apart, you get a lot of material to work with. And they're also already curved, so it makes it really easy to kind of insert the tree since they already have a really rounded shape. You're kind of just going to essentially go ahead and hug your tree with these grapevine branches. This gives a beautiful woodland effect. It adds a lot of texture and dimension, and I just love adding this into a traditional tree. It just makes it look more like woodsy, and I like the different really rustic textures that this applies. And I'm just going ahead and adding those all around the tree, just kind of doing the same hugging motion, just putting that all the way around, making sure to kind of evenly space them out. And then with this, you can also decide how much or how little you want to apply. If you don't want quite as big of strands, you can take your wreath apart more and just put individuals, or if you want a really full rustic look, you can go ahead and add lots of these kind of branches. You can do whatever you want with this, and you can also use this technique on a garland. You could use this technique on a wreath, and I just love how it just gives a totally different vibe to this tree. So now we're going to go ahead and add in a few bits of greenery. These are just some stems that I picked up at Michael's last year on clearance after the Christmas season. They're a very nice full spray, and they have a little bit of dusting of glitter. With this tree, I'm not going full on flocked like I used with my other trees this year. I wanted more of a kind of iced look, if that makes sense. So these do have a little bit of snow, but they look much more icy than they do flocked, if that makes sense. And I'm going ahead and just placing these all around the tree. This tree is really quite large and it's very full, so I used 10 of these greenery stems just to make sure that I could have them evenly spaced throughout the tree. You kind of just have to use your imagination when it comes to this kind of thing. Just look at your tree, see how full it is, and then from there just kind of go ahead and decide how many picks you want to use. There's no like special formula. It's all personal taste in my opinion, so depending on what kind of look you're going for. I do like a full over the top, very girly glam look, so I like to add more depth and dimension into my trees, but again, you can totally customize this to kind of whatever decor style that you guys love. And then now that we have our greenery placed, what we're going to be doing is adding in some floral clusters. So I shared this technique on the main tree in our living room, the one that we did in the window this year, and this is a great way to add florals and greenery into your tree and then having them all together. If you're brand new at adding florals and sprays into your tree and you want something quick and easy, this is a great technique to use because they're all bundled together. You just have to use some wire and place them directly on top of each other, and then it gives this beautiful cluster effect with all of these different textures. And then to secure them in place, I'm just using some Amazon wire. I bought this wire at the beginning of the, I think Halloween season it was, and I still haven't run out, so it was a great deal. I've been using it on all of my projects, and I'm just going ahead and making sure that's nice and secure. And then for the final step, just to make sure it's nice and secure, I'm using one of the branches and just wrapping it around the entire cluster. The great thing about these florals and sprays is they're entirely made of wire, so it makes it really easy to kind of move them around and get the right shape that you're looking for. And then by pulling the other stem upwards, it makes them not quite as long, so it makes it easier to insert into your tree. So here you can see all of the floral clusters that we made. Again, I chose to do 10 of these just because my tree is very tall and very full, and I wanted to make sure that they were evenly spaced out and there was no large gaps in between them. So I'm going to go ahead and insert these into our tree. And then all of these florals and sprays that you guys have seen are primarily from Hobby Lobby and Michael's. Those are my two favorite places to shop for Christmas decorations. I find that they always have sales, and I make sure to kind of plan out my shopping accordingly. But I just love the different textures. Again, I kind of went for more of an icy look with my greenery. So you can see the bottom spray has that beautiful kind of sparkly ice texture to them. And I wanted to do something very kind of regal inspired, something really rich with these gorgeous colors and textures. So my idea was to do a ruby red and emerald green tree. So to really celebrate the traditional colors, but to kind of do them in a little bit of a different way. Instead of the classic red and green, this is more of a deeper ruby red that I'm using, and I just absolutely love this color. It just brought the most beautiful punch of color into our dining room here, and it's so, so beautiful. I absolutely love this tree, and it's really fun to go out of your comfort zone. If you guys have seen my other videos, you guys will know that I love a really girly, glam, pink kind of aesthetic. I love that romantic pastel texture to it, but I love these beautiful bold colors as well. So it's really fun to kind of explore that and just kind of take your design sensibility and transform it to all different color schemes. I just absolutely love creating all of these beautiful ideas for you guys. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you are so far. So now that all of our floral clusters have been applied into our tree, we're going to go ahead and add in a few more additional florals and sprays. So I found these beautiful, again, iced berry picks. These are actually from HomeSense Canada, or if you guys are in the States, Home Goods is the same company. A lot of times they have very similar products, and I went ahead and added all of these into the tree. They came in sets of 3, so I had 9 of these to use, so it was pretty close to the rest of the tree that I was using. And then I'm going ahead and just putting those again all the way around the tree, giving them kind of a slight curvature to the stem so that everything was kind of tilting downwards. So if snow had actually fallen onto the tree, the branches almost are a little bit heavy, if that makes sense. Not droopy, but they just kind of have this beautiful organic kind of flow to them, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and just added those again all over the tree, making sure to kind of space them out, moving the branches around just to make sure that they were nice and airy. And now we're going to go in with this beautiful iced magnolia stem leaf. I love this one, you guys. I got this at Michael's this year, and it brings the most beautiful sparkle, especially when it's right underneath the lights. It just kind of lights it up and makes it look so beautiful. And I'm going ahead and just adding that into the tree, again kind of bending the stem to give it that really pretty kind of rounded look to it, and just pulling out all of the leaves to make sure it looks really natural. A lot of times when you guys buy these kind of florals and sprays in the store, they're pretty bunched up and kind of close together, so you want to make sure that you play with your stems, pull them apart. They're all made of wire, so you can't break them, and then just kind of mold them to whatever shape that you guys are trying to achieve. So now we're going to go ahead and add in our floral stems. So these are some really pretty iced little roses I got from Michael's. And we're going to be going ahead and adding these throughout the tree as well. I'm going ahead and just kind of inserting them and then moving the flowers around just to make sure that I get the right shape that I wanted. I only had 6 of these stems, so I wanted to make sure I had them nice and spaced out. So I'm just kind of going ahead around the whole tree and just placing those in wherever it looks like it needs another punch of color, or if there's a funny gap or anything in your tree, just go ahead and insert your florals there. So now we're gonna go ahead and add in some ribbon into our tree. I found this beautiful champagne kind of embossed ribbon from Michaels this year, and I thought this would be the great thing to kind of add to this kind of regal kind of style that I was trying to achieve with this tree design. So I'm going to go ahead and make a series of loops into this tree, kind of a similar technique that we did on the main tree in our window this year. I'm just looping the ribbon over on itself to create a bow, pulling up the two sides just to make sure that they're even, and then pinching it in the center. And then once you have your bow, you're going to go ahead and use your wire to secure it. And then the great thing about these kind of trees is that they're all made of wire, so you don't even need any additional wire to add these bows into your tree. I'm literally just using the actual tree itself to hold this in place by crossing over the branches, and that makes it really secure and added into your tree very nicely. So with the other end of our ribbon, it's still attached to the bow. I'm going to be using that to kind of go ahead and cascade down the center of our tree here, and then just kind of going in between the florals and sprays just to make sure that I have all of those bare spots kind of covered. You can either do your ribbon first or you can kind of do it in between like I'm doing here. It really depends on what kind of look that you guys want. If you want a tree that's full of ribbon and that's kind of your focal piece for your design, you would want to do that first. But since I was kind of going for a really kind of regal look with this tree, I wanted just little spurts of ribbon here and there just to kind of bring in the theme a little bit more, but not to take away from all of the beautiful greenery and those rich tones that we've added in. So I'm just using it kind of selectively here in those places where it looks like there's a little bit of a gap, and just kind of going ahead and cascading the ribbon down, and then make sure to dovetail your ends. You can kind of see at the top there, you just take the ribbon and cut upwards at an angle, and then it cuts that beautiful end to your ribbon there. So I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just going ahead, looping the ribbon over on itself to create a bow. With this one here, I'm just doing a one loop bow, securing that in with a wire, and then making sure to dovetail my ends again with our ribbon here. And then the same thing, the tail that's still attached to the bow, you're going to go ahead and use that to cascade down your tree, using those branches, just crossing them over on itself to hold your ribbon securely in place. This is great because you don't need any extra supplies. The tree works great to hold it in place, and then it looks a lot more natural. That way you don't have any wires or pipe cleaners or zip ties showing in your tree. It just makes it look a lot more effortless and kind of helps to secure it a little bit better anyway. So I just love how this ribbon just added that beautiful regal touch to the tree. It's got this beautiful 3D effect, so it really adds a lot of texture and depth and dimension into the tree here. And I love this champagne color. I thought it went really well with this kind of regal inspired tree design that I was kind of going for. And I love the little bit of lightness that it adds as well, since most of these tones are quite rich and deep. It just kind of adds a little bit of contrast and more visual interest to our tree. Now we're going to go ahead and use our second ribbon into this tree. So this ribbon was from Hobby Lobby this year. I got it at a good sale, 50% off this year, and I love the texture of this one. It's a really rich velvet, and it's got that beautiful emerald green, which I was going for with this tree. I couldn't believe I found the right color. I was so excited, and it really gives the most beautiful look with the ruby red. Those two colors together give such a nice punch to the design and just makes it look so beautiful and very elegant. So I'm doing the exact same technique here, making a series of loops and bows throughout the tree. This ribbon is a lot thinner. It's not quite as thick as the champagne ribbon that I used. So I did add a little bit more of this ribbon into the tree just to kind of fill in any gaps, and just kind of going ahead, making sure to pull out my loops, making sure I've dovetailed all of my ends, and then just adding in all of those little loops throughout the tree wherever it looks like it needs a little bit more color. So now that we finished with our ribbon, we're going to go ahead and add in some ornament clusters into our tree. This is such a great, easy way to add in ornaments into your tree, and it makes the most beautiful visual impact since you have a large amount of ornaments all together in one cluster. So these are all Walmart ornaments. I grabbed a huge pack of these ornaments, and I love how it had all of the colors that I was using for this color scheme. So it had the beautiful ruby red, the emerald green, and the beautiful rich chocolate brown, which I wanted to be kind of an accent piece. And then of course gold, because we're going to be having some gold accents further on in the video. So I would just went ahead and use that same Amazon wire and just looped in all of those ornaments and then just twisted them off at the end, and then leaving a little bit of a tail. That way we can use that to secure directly into our tree. And I believe there are 10 ornament clusters here. I used the entire pack of the Walmart ornaments to make sure that I would have a really nice assortment of them all over the tree. And then with each cluster, you wanted to make sure that you had at least one or two of each of the themed colors in that cluster. So for example, I've got 2 chocolate brown, I've got 2 red, 2 green, 2 gold, etc. Whatever kind of color scheme that you're going for. And if you wanted even more of a statement, you could go ahead and make ornament clusters with all different sizes of ornaments. I've seen that a lot on YouTube actually, with lots of different textures and lots of different sizes of ornaments to even create more of a visual impact. Or you could also do less ornaments if you wanted something smaller. Again, this is totally personal preference, and really the sky is the limit with what you could create with these kind of design techniques. So I'm just going ahead and making sure that these are, again, all evenly spaced out throughout the tree. I just love the color that it brings and that beautiful little bit of sparkle to the tree. And they were super inexpensive because I got them at Walmart in a huge pack, so it was definitely a very affordable option, but you can't even tell that these are just plastic ornaments. They just add such a beautiful color to the tree. I love the beautiful emerald green and that beautiful ruby red. I think it's so luxe and luxurious and really elegant to kind of suit in with this tree design. Now we're going to go ahead and add in these ornaments into the tree as well. And you can see that these are some really crazy colors. I had the gold was this really horrible, like really yellowy gold, and I just knew that I could totally transform these into something that would look so much better for the tree. These are all from our dollar store called Dollarama here in Canada. I picked these all up, and I'm just using some spray paint from Walmart to give them some new life. I love this color of gold. It looked a lot more kind of elegant in my opinion, just to kind of bring in a little bit more of that kind of regal touch I was going for. If you guys have seen the show Gossip Girl, I love Blair Waldorf so much. She's just one of my favorite online characters, and I just kind of thought of her when I was making this tree with all of these really rich jewel tones and these beautiful bright colors. I just thought it was so her. So she was kind of also my inspiration when I was making this tree design, and I just love this shape of ornament because it just really brings in a new texture. I love the shape of them. Again, kind of going with that really elegant regal theme, and I just place these all around the tree. Now we're going to go ahead and add in some more beautiful ornaments here. These are all things that I have collected from HomeSense primarily. They have a beautiful kind of mercury glass to them, and they're very sparkly. And again, it's that kind of nice warm brown just to bring in a little bit more of that color from the grapevine wreath and then those chocolate brown ornaments. Again, brown was kind of more of my accent color, so I didn't have a lot of it in this tree, but I did want a hint of it to kind of bring in a little bit of a rustic texture to it. And I just love how the mercury glass really shines when you have the lights behind them. And then since we are kind of doing a little bit more of a traditional tree, I found these beautiful plaid ornaments this year, and I just thought they were absolutely perfect for this tree since it had both of the 2 main colors that I was using, and I just love the little bit of gold sparkle on there. They couldn't have been more perfect, and I love the tartan plaid as well. So I just went ahead and added those into the tree as well, and again, that kind of gave me Blair Waldorf vibes with the tartan plaid, which I just thought was so great. And then the last ornament we're going to add on are these beautiful little acorns. Again, the chocolate brown is actually kind of a mercury glass, so it has that beautiful kind of texture to it. And then on the top is this beautiful velvet, which I just thought, again, went with that beautiful, elegant, regal theme. And I tucked these kind of deeper into the tree just to bring in a little bit more visual interest, kind of making sure that I had spaced out my ornaments nicely so that not all of them were sitting out on the tops of the branches. Some of them were further in, again, just to create more visual interest, a lot of depth and dimension. And so every angle that you look at the tree, there's something new and exciting to look at. So I just absolutely love how this tree turned out, you guys. You'll have to let me know down in the comments below which was your favorite tree that I decorated this year. If you guys haven't seen my other videos, this is my third tree that I have in my house here, so make sure you check those out if you haven't seen those already. But I hope you guys have absolutely loved this and are inspired. And let me know what kind of trees you guys are decorating in your home as well. I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. I'm always so excited to chat with you guys and see what you guys are up to for Christmas this year. I hope I have inspired you guys to create something beautiful in your home, whether that's something traditional like this tree, or that's something girly and glam, or something completely different. I hope that you guys, no matter where you're at, that you guys can get something from my videos. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.